Collective. I am the Nosy Witch and this is my channel, Nosy Witch Tarot. Welcome or welcome back. This reading is going to be all about your next spicy encounter and what to expect before, during and after. We are going to be discussing who this person is and your relationship to them. We'll discuss what might be going on in your life when this takes place, as well as how and where this encounter is likely to go down. Now, I am going to try and go into as much detail as possible, but please be aware with this being YouTube, I might have to kind of word things in a little bit of a weird way at times. Hopefully you will still know what I mean. It's just that with it being YouTube, obviously there's things that I can't say. With all of that said, this is going to be an 18+ reading, so if you are not 18, come back when you are. I would recommend using your intuition to choose the pile you are most drawn to. You can also choose more than one pile if more than one is calling to you. I am going to run through each of the piles, the tarot decks and the stickers in just a moment. So over here we have pile 1 and the donut sticker with the Midnight City Tarot. That is pile 1, the donut sticker and the Midnight City Tarot. Here we have pile 2 and the elephant sticker and the Mean Girls Tarot. That is pile 2 with the elephant sticker and the Mean Girls Tarot. Over here we have pile 3 with the turtle sticker and the Wandering Moon Tarot. That is pile 3, the turtle sticker and the Wandering Moon Tarot. And over here we have pile 4 with the aeroplane sticker and the Trash Panda Tarot. That is pile 4 with the aeroplane sticker and the Trash Panda Tarot. Once you have chosen your pile, please head to the pinned comment or the description box below. There will be timestamps listed there and that will take you to your chosen pile. In terms of the reading breakdown today, as usual, this reading will be split up into 2 main sections. The first portion of your reading will be the oracle, where we will look at a few different cards from various oracle decks to uncover the overarching energy between you and this person, as well as the general energy of this encounter. So you are welcome to use this portion of the reading as confirmation that you've chosen the right pile. If the situation that I'm describing doesn't sound like you, it might not be your story, so you're more than welcome to go back and choose a different pile. Not every single detail in your chosen pile will resonate, but if the overarching energy is something you relate to, this is likely a sign that it is your pile. Now, the second portion of your reading will be your tarot reading, where we will go into a little bit of further detail regarding the circumstances surrounding this encounter. For example, when it might happen, where it might happen, and what energy you or this person might be in when this goes down. We will also touch on the specifics in terms of the encounter itself, and hopefully, uncover all the juicy details in terms of what you can expect. The tarot reading is there to provide a more full picture on this experience before, during, and after. We will then be closing the reading by looking at a few more tarot cards from your chosen deck, and these are there to represent solely how you might be feeling afterwards and what you can expect generally following this encounter. Just a little disclaimer that this reading is for entertainment purposes and you don't have to accept anything as your story if it isn't. I am aware that everyone has their own individual views when it comes to physical intimacy, and that's okay. Like, if I give the example of someone having a casual encounter and you know that you do not engage in casual encounters, then that message just isn't for you. Like, take what's for you and leave the rest for someone else. But on this channel, I want to create an open and sex-positive space. Any encounter that is consensual and is not harmful to another being is fine in my books. And yeah, I want my channel to reflect that belief. Please also be aware going in that, these are collective readings and that individual circumstances are likely to differ even within, the same pile. So I like to provide examples for all situations, and not every single one of those examples will resonate with you. And again, that's okay. Take what is for you, leave the rest for somebody else. Apart from that, I just want to thank you all so much for being here and letting me read for you. I really do appreciate it more than you know. I'm just incredibly grateful to anyone who has liked, anyone who has commented, and anyone who has subscribed. And if you haven't done any of that already, but you kind of want to, please do that. It is the easiest and best way to support me and this channel, and it just lets me know that, you like my content and you wouldn't mind seeing more of it, which all means the absolute world to me. Without any more hesitation, let's get started with this reading. I hope you have as much fun listening to it as I had making it. Thank you, and I will see you at your chosen pile. Hi Power One Collective, welcome to your reading. This reading is all about your next spicy encounter before, during and after. I did a full reading breakdown in my intro, so if you want to check that out, go ahead and check that out so you know what to expect from this reading. But as usual, the reading will be split into two sections. We'll be starting off by looking at a few of the oracle cards before moving on to the tarot reading. So this reading is going to be a deep dive, not just on like the physical experience, but also, feelings leading up to this encounter, the before, the during, and the after. We are going to try and cover all bases with this reading, as well as, discussing your relationship with this person. I just want to thank you all so much for being here. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to sit and listen to my readings, or, whatever you do, even if you play my readings in the background while you do chores or when you're doing something else, that is all absolutely fine and it is very much appreciated. Thank you so much for being here, and if you could do me a massive favor and like my video, comment if you haven't done so already, and subscribe, that would all mean the absolute world to me, and I would just appreciate it so much. So Pal 1, you picked the Donut sticker and the Midnight City Tarot. So without further hesitation, let's get started and have a look at the cards we pulled for you. I'm just going to pop the sticker and the tarot cards to one side for now so we can focus on the oracle portion of your reading. So yeah, Pal 1, let's get started and let's have a look what we pulled for you. Okay, so we have red flag. I'm sorry, Pal 1. We have number 26, continuance, apple. Coffin, endings bring new beginnings, growth, change, liberation, transition. We have the salamander and black pepper, inspiration. And we have number 25, influence. Okay, this is an interesting spread of cards already. What are you up to, Pal 1, with this red flag? Well, we're about to see. So I always like to start off by talking about the numbers briefly in case these numbers are significant to you. So we do have 26 and 25. It doesn't have to be the case, but these could be significant numbers to you in terms of dates, ages, a birthday, an angel number, or something like that. I always just like to mention it at the start, just in case that's confirmation out there for someone. With the salamander coming through, I'm actually getting something about sensitive skin. So that could be significant to either you or this person. Maybe somebody has sensitive skin and they can only use certain skincare products, certain moisturizers, or something like that. I'm also getting a message about somebody being nocturnal. So, maybe one or both of you stay up late at night, maybe somebody works a night shift or something like that. Again, this doesn't have to be the case. It's just all a little bit of extra confirmation if it is. Maybe somebody has a really messed up sleeping pattern here. If so, same, but yeah, that is what's coming through initially. But in terms of the energy between you and this person, this might be somebody who you were in a kind of talking stage or situationship with or something like that. With this continuance card, I'm getting the message of like there was something there, but maybe it wasn't something that got off the ground properly. I think this is potentially somebody within your social circles, but it's not necessarily like somebody in your close friendship circle or something like that. So you might see them out and about. It could be like a friend of a friend, a mutual friend, a colleague or something like that, but it's not necessarily somebody who like you would spend a lot of one-on-one time with. It could be more somebody like you tend to bump into them when they are with other people who you know, but it would be like weird if you just invited this person out for coffee one-on-one or something like that. I do think you know who this is, but I don't think this is necessarily somebody who you've had a lot of one-on-one time with. I think you know them, but you don't know them that well. It's like sometimes you might bump into each other when you are out socializing. Maybe you end up at the same events together or something like that. I definitely think this is somebody who you have interacted with, but maybe it hasn't got much past a surface level. Again, there's this sense of, something that didn't really get off the ground, but with this continuance, it's kind of like picking up where we left off energy. You don't necessarily have to have had a physical relationship with this person. Some of you might have done, like something started, and this is a rekindling of that in some way. But for some of you, it might just be that, there was this spark, there was some flirting, but again, it didn't really go anywhere. Communication kind of died out. Nothing could really progress. And again, this is a continuation of that. Maybe the physical aspect wasn't explored as much as what you wanted. I think the chemistry was definitely there, the spark, there was definitely physical interest on both sides, but for some reason, it just didn't really happen. Things died off, things stopped, things ended prematurely. Maybe feelings were kind of buried as well. And I'm not saying this necessarily has to be like deep romantic feelings. Obviously, if you and this person don't know each other very well, but there could have been some element of like pride was at stake and nobody really wanted to express interest first and be vulnerable in that way or something like that. So maybe that's kind of why things died off a little bit. But I think when you met this person, I think both of you could have felt this attraction, this spark. And I'm getting something about like maybe this person adding you on social media after they met you or something like that. And maybe it was clear that they were interested physically. Maybe this was the kind of person where they would be replying to your stories if you post stories and trying to start a conversation, something like that. Like maybe there was a bit of back and forth, but perhaps this person stopped making the effort at one point and things just kind of slid away in terms of communication. And maybe to a degree, it kind of left you wondering if you had made the whole thing up in your head. Like you felt this physical attraction, but you were thinking, well, if this person wanted me, they would continue to talk to me, they would make the effort. So then you were kind of doubting yourself about whether like you had just, made this up, whether there was this sexual tension or anything like that. Whether you did actually have a physical experience with this person or not, there is definitely this sense of something building, 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 like the momentum is gradually creeping up. And then it just drops. The conversation goes dead. Someone pulls back, somebody goes silent. It doesn't really go anywhere. And honestly, I'm getting the sense that you kind of gave up on things with this person. You weren't too invested in it, but the inconsistency, the lack of effort, the fact that this person didn't seem to be trying very hard, that was a red flag to you. So maybe you just put this experience down to a learning experience and you kind of just got on with your life. I don't think you were heartbroken over this. You might consider this person a little bit of a player, or you might have felt that they were toying with you or trying to pick you up when it suited them and then kind of dropping you, and ultimately it put you off. I think this person can be quite charming and, quite charismatic. They might know how to like play people or how to get what they want. And maybe that's something that maybe forced you to keep them at arm's length. But you were still a little bit curious to see where it went. But it's like when they fell off the radar, you weren't entirely surprised. I think you were a little bit disappointed by it, but it got to a stage where you just decided to kind of move on and not think about them. It could also be that you did find something out about this person that kind of put you off, because with endings coming through, it could be that this person had recently got out of like a serious relationship and you perceived that as a red flag because you didn't want to be a rebound or something. Equally, it could be that you have recently ended something and you felt like you shouldn't be moving on so quickly. So this person was interested in you physically and then they fell off the radar, but they are going to be wanting to pick back up where you left things. So let's explore that a little bit more, how that might happen. I'm going to be really honest with you now, pal one. I think the reason that they want to restart things with you is literally because they see you. I think they see you, you're looking good, they're attracted to you, and they want to restart something. You inspire them to take action in some way with this inspiration card coming through. And I don't necessarily think this encounter will be planned. I think this is just an opportune moment, like you and this person end up in the same place at the same time, coincidentally, and things just kind of go from there. However, for some of you, I do want to say that there is this element of maybe you like overhearing beforehand that this person will be there. And it's not necessarily that you're looking for anything physical to happen specifically. I think actually many of you are not really acknowledging this person at all. Some of you could even be pretending that you haven't seen them. And, if this is a social thing, you're going out with your friends, you are going to make that effort to look good regardless. It's not about this person, but there is this tiny little element of you spending a bit more time picking your outfit, not like with the intention of getting this person's attention, but more like, look what you're missing, that kind of vibe. but you know, you do get this person's attention and they want to get yours, I think you are influencing their behavior with this influence card. You might catch this person, you know, glancing at you and then looking away. I think you're going to be able to tell that this person wants your attention, and it's going to give you like a sense of power in this situation in some strange way. You might be acting very nonchalant about this whole thing. You might be acting quite indifferent towards them. And I think initially that might make them a little bit scared to approach you. They might think that you're mad or you're just straight up done with them. And you kind of are done with them. But also I think a part of you kind of wants to see what happens. And you know, with you choosing the donut sticker too, I do find that interesting, because I think, you know, there is this element of you being open to this person. There's something you like about being around them. But at this stage, I think you're viewing this through the lens of what's been presented to you so far, which is not necessarily for something long-term or stable. And I'm getting that because it's like with donuts, they're a tasty treat from time to time. You can enjoy them every now and again, but you're not going to feel great if you have donuts every single day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And that's the kind of energy that you're feeling with this person. And particularly with this influence card coming through, funnily enough, it's actually making me think of the smoking area of a nightclub. With the little lights as well, it's making me think of like a cute little beer garden or something with the cute fairy lights. But I think, you know, before this encounter, this person is seeking encouragement to approach you from their friends. And I feel like their friends are kind of egging them on, hyping them up to just go for it, to go and talk to you. It could be that there's drinks involved, and you know, that's what gives this person the confidence to actually approach you. Maybe your friends are kind of influencing you too, or telling you when this person is looking at you. Maybe your friends are picking up on the vibes between the two of you or something like that. I definitely think that friendship circles are in some way involved in this. Maybe your friends are even telling you not to do it. And you're kind of like, well, maybe if I just talk to them, there's no harm in that. And actually, the song that I'm getting in my head now is Bad Idea by Olivia Rodriguez. Like, you know, the talking is going to lead to something else, but you're going to do it anyway. It's like they're a red flag, but maybe red is your favorite color, pile one. That is the energy that I'm getting. Or, you know, maybe your friends are totally enthusiastic about your bad ideas. Maybe even some of your friends kind of feed your delusions. Sort of, I support women's rights and women's wrongs energy. If you are a woman, you don't have to be, but that is the kind of vibe that I'm getting here. Maybe this person actually feels inspired to be a little bit more vulnerable with you, because they know that if they don't, they will lose a good thing. So maybe this leads to a truth being revealed at some point throughout this encounter. And just in regards to the encounter itself, I'm getting something about there being limited space with this coffin card coming through. It's making me feel like there's either limited time or limited space. So maybe the location isn't ideal, or maybe you and this person don't have enough time to be alone. I'm getting something here about stolen moments. So if this is a bar, let's say, maybe you go outside to the smoking area to like get some privacy, and there's a heated moment, a steamy kiss or something like that, then maybe one of your friends comes out and interrupts and kind of ruins the moment, something like that. But it's like you and this person want so badly to do more, but there maybe just isn't enough physical space. For some of you, this could even be in a car, in a vehicle, or something like that. So for some of you, this isn't like the full thing, but it's definitely something is rekindled here, and there could be some element of, you know, this is to be continued. So there's definitely going to be a lot of teasing. I think there's going to be some waiting, a build-up, and some delayed gratification. But it makes you want each other more. It's this sense of like, I'm going to die if I don't have this person. I think it's really going to spark something new between you and this person. So that is what I'm getting for the oracle portion of your reading, pile one. We are going to move along to the tarot reading, so please bear with me and we'll get started on that. Hi pile one collective, welcome back to the tarot portion of your reading. Without hesitation, let's get started and have a look at the cards we pulled for you. Okay, pile one, we have got the Ace of Wands reversed. We have got the Two of Wands reversed. We have got the Sun. We have got the Queen of Wands. We have got the Nine of Cups reversed. We have got the Hanged Man reversed. We have got the Ace of Swords. we have got Justice, we have got the Seven of Pentacles, and we have got the Emperor. So I think firstly, pile one, with the Ace of Wands and the Two of Wands coming up in reverse, I think there's an element of like you catch this person off guard. It's like they either weren't expecting to see you, or they just weren't expecting to see you and feel the way they do because they weren't expecting you to show up looking so good or something like that. And I think your presence is slightly overwhelming for them. You know, they have all this passion and desire to approach you, but they don't really know where to put it. And I think they're unsure of how you're going to interpret them, particularly if there has been like this lack of communication and now you're kind of ignoring each other. They feel like unprepared. And although like you hadn't planned this on your end, I think you have processed any emotions related to this situation and you do feel more prepared. So there is this sense of a power imbalance in the way that it seems like you have more of your stuff together. You seem nonchalant about the whole thing. And they are like very indecisive. It's like, should I approach pile one or shouldn't I? They don't know how they're going to be received by you. And I think the reason I would suggest that alcohol could be involved here is because the energy this person starts off in is not the energy they are ending up in. If we go from here to over here where we have the Emperor, it is a very different energy. It kind of tells a story of how things progress. So that's why, you know, it could feel like there is this element of false bravado, of fake confidence. If this person is like inebriated or they get progressively more inebriated throughout the night, it could be the thing that propels them to be able to go and talk to you. If it's not alcohol or anything like that, it could be that, you know, they are just getting the moral support from their friends. As we mentioned, maybe their friends are egging them on, pushing them to talk to you or something like that. So that could also play a part. But in any case, I think when they first see you, there is this incredible sense of frustration. It's like they want you, but they can't have you. They can't figure out how to get you. I think they think they've missed their chance and they're kind of annoyed at themselves for that. With this sun showing up, I actually think that this person will want to try and trick you into giving them attention. It's like they might try a little bit to get a reaction out of you. And I don't think it comes from a place of arrogance. Like, I don't think they're thinking, you know, pile one should come and speak to me. But I think they believe that if you speak to them, they can kind of gauge your reaction. But I'm getting the word like orbiting, so it might be that they try to remain close to you, like hoping you'll catch their eye, or it's like they might try and make jokes or talk loudly to try and provoke a reaction. There's an element of them being quite dramatic or flamboyant, like, and this is with the hopes that they will be noticed by you. But with this Queen of Wands, I don't think you're going to be giving in to that. If anything, this person being so obvious about their desire for your interest, it's making you more certain that you're going to ignore them until they come to you. And it's not necessarily that you want to play games or anything like that, or if they start off by playing games, you're kind of happy to reciprocate that energy. Like, there's this sense of confidence from you, like, you know that you have this person where you want them, but you're going to kind of remain in your lane and not really let it show. There's this level of independence here, and I think you're just of the mindset of like, if they want to come and talk to me, then they will, and if not, so be it. Like, I don't think you're bothered either way. I think you're going to be, you know, very much living in the moment, having a great time and being unbothered. And because you are so unbothered, you are just infectious to be around. So maybe you're just having fun, you're dancing, you're smiling, you're making your friends laugh, not really caring about what happens with this person, but that's what's making you all the more desirable to them. I don't think they're used to this nonchalant attitude from people. I think they can be quite charismatic and they are used to getting what they want, or maybe like leaving a trail of broken hearts, and they're just not getting that level of emotion from you. You've detached, and it shocked them, to be honest, but it's also making them kind of desperate for your validation. And I think when this person does approach you, I think they're going to be quite assertive. You might playfully challenge them actually as well. Like, I don't think you're going to let things slide, but I don't think you're going to be too serious about it. Like, I think you're going to kind of wind them up and you're wanting to see their honest reaction. And in turn, I think this person is going to be trying very hard to please you throughout this encounter. In whatever way that applies to the situation, you're making them work hard for your attention. but they are going to be very willing to put in that work. They're going to want to do what it takes, is what I'm getting. And, you know, with this 9 of Cups reverse coming through, we spoke a lot about you looking really, really good. And you do. You look really, really good. And you're probably going to be catching a lot of attention. With the Sun and with the Queen of Wands, you're coming across as, you know, radiant, glowing, assertive. You are standing out. And you're definitely the centre of this person's world in the moment. You are going to be their main focus. I would advise for some of you to remain cautious if you are worried about this person's motivations with the 9 of Cups. This isn't going to apply to everyone. Obviously, I don't know this person, so you need to use your own intuition. But for some people, it could refer to you being utilised as a bit of a status symbol or something like that. Somebody who is a little bit emotionally immature using you as a status symbol. So this person, if they care a lot about external validation, they might kind of see you as a flex, like in front of their friends. It's kind of like, oh, don't I look good with pile 1 on my arm, that kind of thing. And if their friends have commented that you're attractive, this encounter could be them like trying to prove that they can get you. However, that doesn't have to be the case. It could be that for many people in this situation, this 9 of Cups is just indicating that this person is kind of disappointed in themselves. They don't feel fulfilled with where they're at in life, particularly if this is the kind of person where they haven't had many long-term connections, or if they have had like less meaningful physical connections. They might be fed up of that and they kind of want that to change. And even if they have yes men around them who encourage that behaviour, it's not making them happy. And by yes men, I don't mean that this has to be a man. I just mean like people who encourage their bad behaviour. They might kind of do it a little bit to fit in with these people, but it's actually not making them happy. And I think that is something that they're very much realising. So with this Hanged Man coming up in reverse, I think there is going to come a point where this person knows that they have to take action and they know that they can't really wait anymore. You know, they've been in this energy of like, should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I, going back and forth. But it gets to the point where they're like, fuck it, I'm going for it, because none of their attempts to try and entice you to come to them are working. So whether it's a confidence brought on by inebriation or by their friends, they're going to be stepping up and taking initiative in this situation because they don't want to miss their chance ultimately. So it could be driven by external forces, such as you getting attention from other people and them not enjoying seeing that or something like that, which, you know, is highly likely. If you are out there looking good, you're probably going to be getting attention from lots of people. And I don't think this person will like that. So maybe that is the thing that kind of triggers them to take action. So with this Ace of Swords and with Justice showing up, I think ultimately this person is going to crack first and they are going to communicate something to you. And it's going to be something that offers clarity. I think they're going to be very honest about something. And although like you might have been giving them a bit of a hard time, albeit in a jokey way, this moment kind of endears you to them because maybe for the first time it feels like they're being genuine about something. And you're kind of like, you know, this is what I like in a person, not the games, not the shady attempts to get your attention, but the actual genuine vulnerability. So whilst like I don't think that you're going to be, you know, laying all your cards on the table, you are like, okay, I'm open to hearing what this person has to say. They've opened up to me. So you do let your guard down a little, but maybe not the whole way. And I think this will resonate with each individual differently because, you know, we are going to want different things in our relationships. So if you do see actual romantic relationship potential with this person, this truth could be them acknowledging those feelings. They might actually tell you that you inspire them to want to do something differently. But if you just want this to be like fun or casual, it could be something as simple as this person saying, you know, let's stop pretending that we're not physically attracted to each other and things progressing from there. But whatever this communication is, you're responsive to it in a positive way. And this is kind of a revelation for this person because I think they're like, oh, like maybe this was the solution all along. Maybe I could have just been honest with pal one from the get-go. But they kind of got in their own way by playing these games. So actually, like with Justice and with the 7 of Pentacles, I think one thing that kind of endears you to this person is that they're not making excuses for past behaviour. I think they are going to be taking accountability and responsibility for ways that they might have gone about things incorrectly. It is quite a humble energy, and they might not be afraid to like kneel before you. So take that in whatever way it resonates. That could mean many things, but it's almost like they're bowing down to you. There's this feeling of them wanting to invest in this, wanting something to grow with you. And they know not everything is likely to happen all at once physically, but they are determined to put the work in. That is the main thing. And, you know, with this Emperor coming through, this is actually like a really exciting energy. And like we've said, it is so different to the energy that was coming through at the start of the reading. This person is going to be feeling more confident and more inspired to take action. And they're also going to be, you know, laser focused on you. They're going to have this clear direction of how to proceed with things. And I think they're going to try and impress you by taking charge, a sort of I'll take care of it energy. This could be, you know, buying you drinks and making sure that you always have a drink if you want one or something like that. It doesn't have to be that example, of course. But I think they also might be quite protective over you, and they might want to keep trying to like get you alone. And I think in turn you're kind of like, where did this energy come from? But you do like them taking the initiative in that way. So to chat a little bit about the physical encounter itself and the juicy details regarding that, I do think there is something coming through here about power play. Maybe somebody taking charge and that being a turn on for the other person or for both people. I also think, you know, this person could enjoy you being assertive and stating your needs, or equally you could like it when this person is more assertive. I think this encounter definitely involves a lot of tension. It involves something building. It involves momentum. There is definitely a lot of passion and a lot of energy here. But there is this element of maybe this being like the first installment, like this thing is to be continued. So it could be that you and this person can't do all the things you'd like to do at this very moment because of where you are or because of who is around. But I'm getting something about being blocked. So maybe it's like your friends or their friends are interrupting you, or you're just somewhere where it isn't appropriate to do all the things you want to do. So there might not be like this full sense of release, but I think the best is yet to come because the drive is definitely there on both sides. I think this person is going to be very eager to please you, and I think they kind of want to prove themselves. So in this moment, they are taking what they can. They'll take whatever opportunity they can get, but this is just the first chapter when it comes to the physical side. I think they're going to be bringing a lot of energy and excitement to this. It might feel a little bit overwhelming because they're not able to sort of fully show how much they want you in that moment. So like with the Sun and the Seven of Pentacles, it's making me think of heat, it's making me think of warmth, somebody grafting in the sun, which makes me think it could be happening in the summer months. And we're in summer now, so potentially like in the next couple of months. But I think you're going to have this person hot and bothered. I think whatever happens, it's like they are going to be craving more. So that is what I'm getting for the tarot portion of your reading, Pile 1. We are just going to finish by looking at a few tarot cards from the same deck that you chose, and this will discuss the afterwards. So how will you and this person be feeling after this encounter? So please bear with me and we'll get to that. Okay, Pile 1, so let's have a look at the cards we pulled for you regarding after this encounter. Okay, so we have the Fool. We have the Wheel of Fortune. These are all like really good cards, actually. Okay, we have Death reversed. Right, so I think initially afterwards, there might be this feeling of a lack of closure, which makes me feel like you and this person got started with something, but due to the circumstances of this encounter, you weren't able to finish it. Particularly, you know, if there was drinking involved and like this is the next day, you or this person might be worried about whether this will lead anywhere. I think this person might be worried that you're regretting what happened, and you might be thinking, I wonder if this person meant what they said, something like that. So I do think that some patience might be required here. Maybe it's a case of nobody wanting to like text the other person first and nobody wanting to kind of get their hopes up. But the excitement is definitely there. Like with this Fool card, you know, the Fool indicates the start of something, the possibility of a new adventure. So I think both of you are considering all of the possibilities here. And for some of you, it's like you're on cloud nine with the imagery on this card. You're on cloud nine, you're daydreaming about this. It can also talk about, you know, tumbling into the unknown. So it's like maybe neither of you know what to expect from this situation, but you're willing to have fun. You're willing to take things as they come. I think that afterwards you are not necessarily tied to a particular set of expectations. You're open to approaching things spontaneously. You're not getting attached to any particular outcome. But there's definitely potential here. And with this Wheel of Fortune as well, you might be being encouraged to go with the flow here. I think you and this person are both enthusiastic about where this could go. I think you're both viewing this as an opportunity, even if the outcome is not yet defined, it's not yet set in stone. But you're both open to seeing where this might go, and you're not necessarily ruling out other options. So that is what I am getting for you for the tarot portion of your reading, Pile One. I really, really hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did like the reading, please like the video, please comment, and if that's all possible, please subscribe. All of that would mean the absolute world to me, and I would just appreciate it so, so much. Thank you for being here, Pile One, and I'll see you in the next one. Hi, Pile 2 Collective. Welcome to your reading. If you chose the elephant sticker and you chose the Mean Girls Tarot and you chose Pile 2, this will be your reading. This reading is all about your next spicy encounter, what to expect before, during, and afterwards. As usual, this reading will be split up into two main sections. If you would like more information regarding what this reading will entail, then please check out my introduction. I do a more thorough reading breakdown there. But for the first portion of the reading, we will start off by looking at a few oracle cards to look at the overarching energy surrounding this encounter and the relationship between you and this person. So that should hopefully address who this person is. And then in the next portion of the reading, the tarot reading, we will do a deeper dive into the encounter, the physical experiences, as well as your feelings before, during, and after. We are about to get started. I just want to thank you all so much for being here. To every single person who takes time out of their day to listen to my readings, I do just appreciate it so much. And if you do like my content and you haven't yet liked my videos, commented, or subscribed, please could you consider doing that? It would just mean the absolute world to me, and it is the easiest and best way to support me and this channel going forward. So without hesitation, let's get started and have a look at the cards we pulled for you. I am just going to pop the sticker, and I'm going to pop your tarot pile to one side for now, Pile 2, so we can focus properly on the oracle portion of the reading. Okay, so let's have a look at what you got, Pile 2. I have got Romantic Connection. That is a good card to start with. Number 11, Transition, Cauliflower. We have Girl Talk, Time with Friends, Moving On, Happily Single, Living in the Moment, Having Fun. We have Mischief. And we have number 47, Survival. So I do always like to start off each reading by mentioning the numbers on the cards in case these are significant numbers to you in any way. So we've got number 11 and number 47. These could be significant in terms of synchronicities, angel numbers, dates, birthdays, etc. That doesn't have to be the case, it's just a little bit of extra confirmation if that does apply. You or this person could be a big animal lover, or you could have a special connection to elephants in particular. Some of you might have met a real life elephant in person before while you were traveling or something like that, or maybe this person has. I'm also getting something about outdoorsiness, maybe climbing being significant to this connection. Maybe that's a hobby for some people. I'm getting something about rock climbing or just generally being an adventurer, like going up mountains, abseiling, or just general travel. Travel could be significant to this connection. Maybe this person has traveled or likes to travel, or that is you. I actually do get the sense that this is somebody who you know and who you are friends with, potentially even close friends with, and this person likes you, they're attracted to you, but they don't want you to know. They are kind of hiding it. And with this survival card in particular, I'm getting that they're afraid of you discovering them. Like, they don't want you to find out. They don't want you to be able to sniff them out. That is the phrase that I'm getting, I think, just with this imagery on the card. Because they have romantic feelings for you, and they're not sure if you feel the same way. But with this romantic connection coming through, I do think this is mutual. But there is maybe something that's making them believe that you couldn't like them in that way. And it could be that one or both of you are going through like transitional periods in your personal life. Maybe one of you could have recently ended a career or a relationship or something like that with this transition coming through. So I think part of these hidden feelings, come down to this person trying to be like a good person and denying their attraction because they don't want to come across as predatory, particularly if they feel like you could be in a vulnerable place or something like that. It could also be that they're not willing to risk losing the friendship by admitting their feelings because they'll take you in whatever capacity they can have you. So they don't want to risk making you uncomfortable and making you feel like you have to distance yourself from them, because I think currently you are very comfortable with this person. I really do think you and this person have a lot of fun and laughs together. I think you can have very open conversations with them. I think this is actually somebody who you can talk to about anything with. And I think you have a lot of good memories with this person too, like with you having chosen the elephant sticker. And I think this person could be quite curious. I'm getting Gemini or Sagittarius. Like, it doesn't have to be in their big three. It could be, but perhaps it's someone's Mercury or Venus or Mars placement. I think this is somebody who you can talk to about anything and everything with, like no topic is off limits. And I actually think that both of you are attracted to each other's intellect and communication skills. I'm thinking of that word. I think is it like sapiosexual or something like that, when two people are attracted to each other's intelligence? I think it's something like that. I could have got that a little bit wrong. But regardless of this person's gender as well, I don't think this is a person that's frightened of embracing their femininity, with girl talk coming through. It reminds me of, like, do you know, sometimes if you are a woman, let's say, and you have a male partner, sometimes you might just kind of put some trash TV on, like Gossip Girl or the Kardashians or Love Island or something like that. And sometimes you have these men who are like, oh, why are you watching this trash, like blah blah blah, and they kind of put you down for it. Like, this person is not like that, regardless of whether they're a man or a woman. They very much appreciate getting the gossip. They're just as eager to sit around and have a gossip as you. They love you and them being able to like spill the tea on certain things, having a good catch up. They are not afraid to, sit down and watch the Kardashians with you or something like that. They're not afraid to get involved in skincare or makeup or something like that. This could be somebody you've talked to your friends about, or maybe your friends have wondered if there is anything going on between you. Like, oh, pal too, you and this person have become close. Maybe they're kind of dropping hints. And this is actually really sweet because I'm picturing two people like at a sleepover, just genuinely having a fun time together, or playing pranks, just being silly. And I think there's a lot of giggling between you and this person, a lot of mischief, a lot of getting into trouble, but in like a fun way. And, I'm picturing you staying up to the early hours talking about lots of things. So maybe this is a person who has slept over at your house, or you have slept over at theirs, or something like that. Actually, funnily enough, like the song that's coming through, the song that's popping into my head now is Sleepover by Haley Kiyoko, I think. That song is just like repeating itself in my head, so maybe that is significant to this connection, because it could feel like this person, from their end, it feels like they could only ever have you in their head, like they could only fantasize about it. They don't think that it could become a reality. For a minority of you, this might be a same-sex situation and they're not sure if you swing that way, so maybe they're just not willing to take their chances. It could also be that for a minority, this transition is literally to do with gender identity, or this is a trans or a non-binary person. That doesn't have to be the case, but it will be for some, and I do want to be inclusive in all of my readings. And I do just want to say, if that is not you, if you are a straight cis person, that is fine. You don't have to get offended by that statement. I tend to find whenever I mention sexuality or gender identity on this channel, I tend to get some negative comments, or I tend to get dislikes, but I am just not prepared to sacrifice my integrity to try and appease the collective. I want my channel to be an inclusive space for everyone. So if that message isn't for you, it isn't for you, that's fine. You don't have to boot off about it in the comments. Just leave it for somebody else and move on, because this could be many things other than sexuality. It could be a perceived difference in cultural or religious beliefs. It could just be that this person feels like they're friend zoned. I think both of you are very sexually open-minded and you're willing to try new things. And I don't think you're too concerned about things being perfect every time, but you do want the excitement, you want the adventure, you want the experience. So even if you figure out that something isn't for you, it's kind of like, well, it was an experience, it was something to tick off the bucket list. If one or both parties are curious about their sexuality or not sure about how they identify, this could lead to some reluctance in terms of expressing attraction. But if that doesn't apply, it could be that somebody has to move soon, somebody has to change location for work, or, somebody just feels as though they have too much going on in their personal life right now. But in terms of the energy of this encounter, the focus is on transitioning from a friendship to something romantic, or at least something where attraction is expressed. And it's going to feel like a big change, but I don't think this relates to unrequited feelings. I think it's very much mutual. And once things are out in the open, it's like anything is fair game. It's like then the fun can really begin. So that is what I'm getting for the oracle portion of your reading, pal 2. I really hope you are enjoying the reading so far. Please bear with me and then we will get started on the tarot portion of your reading. Hi pal 2 collective, welcome back to the tarot portion of your reading. Without hesitation, let's get started and have a look at the cards we pulled for you. Okay, pile 2, we have got the 9 of Swords, we've got the Tower reversed, we have got the 9 of Cups reversed, we have got the Moon, we have got the Knight of Wands, we have got the 4 of Pentacles, we have got the Devil, we have got the Hierophant, we have got the King of Wands, and we have got the Magician. So I do think, pal 2, with this 9 of Swords and with the Tower reversed, actually both of these cards, I think this person is really in their feelings over you. The physical chemistry is there, but this isn't just that. And it's interesting as well because the 9 of Swords can often talk about the damage done to a soul when the ego mind is focused on control and on domination. So I think with this, and like with this Tower reversed, this person has tried incredibly hard to quash these feelings, to just not acknowledge them. It's like they've been trying to avert a disaster that they just feel is inevitable. They've been feeling like they have to push it all down because they can't risk the upheaval. They can't risk everything coming undone. So this could be in terms of a pre-established friendship between the both of you. It could also be in relation to something you have been through recently. If you've been down, if you've had struggles emotionally, maybe this person doesn't want to make a move if you're in like a vulnerable place. And they feel a loss of power. They feel this helplessness because if it were anybody else, if they had a crush on a different person and they felt it was unrequited, they would probably just cut contact, but they can't do that with you. They would rather have you in their life just as a friend than not at all. But ultimately it is hurting them having to hold this back. And with this 9 of Cups, this person isn't happy. They are feeling unfulfilled. And, particularly if this is a friend you talk about crushes or relationships with, because I do get the sense that you are very open. If you talk about physical experiences with other people, with this person, it's like they get really upset. And for some of you, they might even act a little bit disappointed in you, but it's not necessarily in a kind of slut-shamey way. But if they've heard you've been intimate with somebody else, they make it clear that they're unimpressed by this person. They're kind of like, them, pal 2, like you could do so much better. And you're kind of like, what is their problem? Because they're not normally a judgmental person about that kind of thing. But it is because they're jealous, and it's because they want to be the one to kind of give you better. So with this Moon showing up, I think it's obvious, but these are definitely hidden feelings. I think this person could be deluding themselves by convincing themselves that the only way that this could end is in disaster. Maybe they haven't even acknowledged the possibility that these feelings could be mutual. This is also making me feel like a lot of this connection is based on intuition and this kind of unspoken tension. Maybe you have had moments with this person where it's felt like this feels a little bit different to a friendship, but you haven't quite broken that barrier. And I think you and this person might have felt like there's been like a little bit of flirty banter in this connection, but there's this confusion because this person feels like if you compliment them, you're just being nice or you're just saying flirty things in a jokey way, like friends do sometimes. And particularly, this could apply if this is in relation to confusion over someone's sexuality, either you or them. Let's say you're both women, but somebody is perceived as heterosexual. A compliment could be given and it's taken as platonic or that person just being kind rather than like a genuine expression of attraction. It reminds me of that meme about girls complimenting each other in bathrooms or something like that. And I can't remember what the full quote was, but it's like one girl says to the other, "Oh my God, you are literally so stunning. I would die for you. Like, I would honestly die for you." And the other girl is like, "Oh, thanks so much, girl. So are you, blah, blah, blah." And the first girl is like, "No, like, I'm not giving you a compliment. I'm trying to," it's like that kind of energy. So it creates this confusion because nobody is sure of the other person's motives. And if this is something to do with sexuality, it could just be general confusion. Like if somebody thought they identified one particular way, but now these feelings are making them question that, it's maybe something to do with this person or you never having felt that way before. And that being a source of confusion, that adding an extra layer of complexity to this connection. But with this Knight of Wands showing up, I definitely think a risk is going to be taken here by this person. And I think when this encounter happens, it's like there's this energy of a person taking a chance and just going for it come what may. So maybe something triggers this person in the sense that there is like a fire lit under them, something gets them moving, and they are the instigator. They might show you more of an assertive or a protective side that you haven't really seen in that way prior. And with this Four of Pentacles coming through, it could be that before this encounter, this person might really be wanting to get you alone. It's like they could want you all to themselves. So this could be, for example, if you and them are in the same friendship circle, this person could ask you to hang out with the intention of, essentially making a move. And because you might hang out as friends all the time, you might be like, "Oh, great, I'll invite Sandra and Brenda." And this person is like, "No, I just want it to be us today," or something like that. And you don't really know why, but maybe you just kind of go with it. They could even be getting a little bit jealous when other potential suitors are mentioned. They could be feeling quite possessive over you, and maybe, that's what triggers them to instigate something because they hate seeing you with somebody else. They feel like you and them belong together and that they could do better for you than whoever else you might be dealing with. So it might feel like them making a move is somehow irresponsible or reckless, maybe in the sense that they have concerns about it ruining the friendship, but it's like they just have this desire to go for it anyway. Something has to be done. So with this Devil showing up and with the Hierophant as well, I think this person sees you as a huge temptation. And I think they might feel a little bit guilty for thinking of you in that way, even though the feeling is very much mutual. Maybe you are better at like hiding it. But I think when this person is alone, when they're having alone time, I think they find themselves thinking of you a lot. But then sometimes they kind of feel ashamed afterwards because they're like, Paltu is my friend, I shouldn't be thinking of them in this way. And I actually also think that this is a person who is very big on consent and, not wanting to cross boundaries. And it's not like they're doing anything wrong. It's not like they're, sort of taking secret pictures of you and using them for that purpose. It's not like they're doing anything deliberately. It's just that when they are having that alone time, it's almost like you've kind of possessed their mind and they can only focus on you. So even when they try to think of other scenarios that usually work for them, their mind kind of inadvertently drifts back to you and they find themselves fantasizing when they don't really mean to, but they do feel a lot of guilt towards this. Something feels taboo about it. So this could be something as simple as them just thinking like, "I just shouldn't have these thoughts," because they believe that you see them as just a friend. Equally, it could be, sexuality, culture, religious beliefs, anything that for whatever reason makes one or both of you feel like this might not be socially accepted. The Hierophant can talk about having different belief systems and things like that too. But it's like they're kind of obsessed with you in a way they don't normally get. And there might be some element of them putting you up on a pedestal, like with Regina here. It's reminding me of the montage where the girl is like, one time Regina punched me in the face. It's almost like you could punch this person in the face and they will be happy because you're touching them. Not literally that example. We don't promote violence on this channel, but it's that kind of energy. And it's like maybe you do something as well that would usually be considered annoying if somebody else did it in front of this person, but it's like when you do it, they're grateful for it. Like if you and this person go to a drive-through and you accidentally leave a food wrapper or an empty cup in their car, instead of being like, oh, they're happy because it reminds them that they got to spend time with you. They're like, pal two was in my car with me, and they reflect on that and they find it exciting. It's actually really cute. And with this King of Wands coming through, I think this person is going to take the lead in this encounter. And this person could be very driven to please you because, not going to lie, like this person does enjoy flattery. Some of them might have a bit of a praise kink. I think they will actively want to hear feedback from you. They'll want to make sure that you're having a good time. That is very important to them. And the Hierophant can also talk about teaching and about learning. So it could be that somebody is teaching somebody else something new, or somebody is taking the lead to kind of guide the other person. This could be just in terms of a physical act that one person hasn't tried before and the other person knows how to do it. Or if this is a sexuality thing, it could even be, one person saying, I've never experienced this with this particular anatomy. What if I don't know what I'm doing? And the other person kind of reassuring them and helping them learn, but also taking on the responsibility of leading this encounter because they have more experience or something like that. So for some of you, I think this encounter might happen after some kind of spontaneous adventure or a day of fun, because this is the kind of person where once they know that you like them back, they're going to be the ones who want to kind of step in and sweep you off your feet. They're going to want to, maybe take you to somewhere you've never been before. They're going to want to really impress you on a date. It could even be a road trip to see some sights or, somewhere you don't get to go every day, like the zoo or even something like indoor skydiving. Or do you know what I'm getting as well? Actually, the other thing that's popping into my head is, do you know when YouTubers do that come with me and let AI plan my day or something like that? It could be that they get ChatGPT to plan a date or something like that, and they want it to be something you've never experienced before. They want to take you on an adventure. I don't know why that just flew into my head, but it could be something like that as well. But either way, I think they're going to want to make it a day that you will remember, and that includes the physical experience, but it also includes what happens beforehand. And I think they want it to feel very different to the other times where you've just hung out, particularly, if this is in terms of elevating something from a friendship to a romance. They want to make it clear that they are romancing you, like the romancing is taking place now, that kind of thing. And I think with the Magician showing up, it's like this person is going to use their full bag of tricks throughout this encounter, and getting something about them having all the right tools or props. I don't know why props, like maybe theatre is significant to one or both of you, and maybe this person is even into like dressing up or playing a role or acting out a fantasy, because I do think both of you are open-minded and you're willing to try new things, and you're both comfortable enough with each other to do that. This person might bring their worldly experience to the table if that applies. I do think that one person is more experienced than the other. It could be that one person in this connection is slightly younger, although it doesn't have to be significantly so. I think the thing you have to remember about this encounter too is that this person knows you. You might have been open with each other about what you like and what you dislike physically, and I think this is the kind of person who would make a point to remember that so that they know they're doing the things that you like. It's like they want to concoct just the right potion for you. And they've been gathering the ingredients for this over time because they want 5 out of 5 stars. They want this to be the best potion you've ever consumed. There is something really pure about this encounter. And I'm not trying to flatter you or this person when I say this, but this experience is how physical intimacy should be done. There's open-mindedness, there's creativity, adventurousness, but there's also a lot of mutual respect, both people checking in with each other. It is just a really beautiful exchange. There was a bit of a wobbly start with this person. I think their self-doubt kind of got in the way, but I do think they are a genuine person, and I do think they want to make this a magical experience for you. The magician also can talk about like resourcefulness, and about how we can make like something out of nothing. So even if this person, let's say, isn't your usual type physically and they're self-conscious about that, let's say if this is a man and they are worried about their size, or if it's a woman and they're worried about their body, the magician is here to show that it doesn't really matter what this person does or doesn't have naturally. They're going to bring skill to the table, and those skills are unmatched. It's not what they have, but about how they use it. That is the message that I'm getting with this person. So that is what I'm getting for your tarot reading, pal two. We are just going to finish this reading off by looking at a few more tarot cards from the same deck for a little bit of closing advice, but also to chat about what you and this person will be feeling after this encounter. So these next few cards are going to focus on the after. Let's have a look at what we pulled for you. Okay, pal two, let's have a look at the cards that we pulled for you. We've got the Lovers. We have got the Empress. And we have got the Knight of Cups. So these are actually all amazing cards to get in a reading regarding how you will be feeling after this spicy encounter. I think you and this person are so sweet. I think there is going to be a lot of aftercare following this encounter. This isn't like a rushed, frenzied tryst and then no contact for a week or something like that. This person is going to be taking their time with you. And I think it's highly likely you'll both be feeling exhausted afterwards, but there is going to be cuddling, there's going to be like pillow talk. I think you're going to be feeling very nurtured with this Empress in particular. It is possible that this person is going to make you food or order food. They're going to make sure that you're nourished, that you're hydrated, and you're just going to feel very taken care of. And with this Knight of Cups as well, it is possible that this is multiple rounds in one evening, because like I said, you are going to be tired. This could even be staying over and having another couple of rounds the next day, that kind of thing. I do think this will definitely be in a private place, possibly this person's home or your home, or if your homes like aren't suitable for whatever reason, then it could be a fancy hotel room. But it's just going to be dreamy. Like with the Lovers, I'm getting two people, laying in bed together, naked, talking, laughing, just completely comfortable and kind of in your little love bubble, feeling like things are just perfect. And the Lovers, it can sometimes refer to our instinctual side versus our more logical side. So there could be a tiny element of one or both people having a sense of anxiousness for giving in to their impulses. And it's not because you or they regret anything, but they feel like there's a lot at stake if things go wrong, because they don't want to lose you. So there could be this slight bit of like, oh crap, what have I done? But I think that's going to be overshadowed by the relief that these feelings are mutual. And I think you are both going to be talking so openly afterwards. So I think the more prevalent message is, why did it take us so long to get here? And I think as well with this Empress, I think this person is going to be making you feel worshipped afterwards. They love your body, so I think there's going to be a lot of touching, kissing, that isn't all just for the purpose of leading to more spicy time, but just generally because they love exploring you in that way. The Empress also can sometimes refer to fertility. So if you are capable of getting pregnant, or you're capable of making another person pregnant during this connection, remember to stay safe. This could also be indicating that if you are a woman, this encounter might happen when you are ovulating. So if you ovulate, obviously if that doesn't apply, ignore it. But with this Knight of Cups, after your kind of vulnerable chats with this person, because that barrier has been crossed, I think you're going to be running towards this connection with open arms. I think it's only going to be deepening, to be honest. I do doubt that this is purely physical, and I definitely think that you and this person have a lot of potential if you see a romantic future with them. I think, they definitely see one with you. And I think this is something that could really go the distance. So that is what I am getting for you, Pal 2. I really, really hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did enjoy the reading, please like the video, please comment, and if that's all possible, please subscribe. That would all mean the absolute world to me, and I would just appreciate it so, so much. Thank you, Pal 2, and I'll see you in the next one. Hi Pal 3 Collective, welcome to your reading. If you chose Pal 3 and you chose the turtle sticker and the Wandering Moon Tarot, this will be your reading. This reading is all about your next spicy encounter. We are going to be uncovering who this person is, who you are going to be having this encounter with, and we are also going to be exploring feelings on both sides before, during, and after this encounter. If you would like a full reading breakdown, so you know what to expect going forward in this reading, then please check out my introduction. I go through all the details there. However, as usual, we are going to be starting by looking at a few oracle cards, and this will represent the overarching energy of your chosen pile. The second portion of the reading will be the tarot reading, so it's going to be split up into 2 sections as usual. Before we get started, I just want to thank you all so much for taking the time out of your day to listen to my readings. It really does mean the absolute world to me, and I just can't thank you enough. To every single person who has liked one of my videos, who has commented, and who has subscribed, it really does just mean so much to me, and I just can't tell you how much I appreciate it. And if you haven't done any of those things, but you like my channel, you like this style of content, and you want to see more of it, then please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. It is the easiest way to help support me and this channel, and I would just really appreciate it so very much. With all of that said, and without any further hesitation, let's get started and have a look at the oracle cards that we pulled for you, Pal 3. I am just going to pop the turtle sticker to one side for now, and I'm also just going to pop the tarot cards to one side so we can focus on the oracle cards. So let's have a look at what we pulled for you, Pal 3. Okay, we have got self-love. We have got number 39, longevity. Chrysanthemum. I cannot pronounce that. Cupid's arrow, have faith, love is coming, surprise invitation or meeting, hesitation. We have got the mouse and buttercup, innocence. And we have got number 41, risk, interesting. So I always like to start off the readings by briefly mentioning the numbers in case they are significant. They certainly don't have to be, but if the number 41 or 39 is significant to you in some way, then that is just a little bit of extra confirmation. This could be in terms of an age or an age gap or something like that. For some of you, it could be that you are 39 and this person is 41, or the other way around. Or whatever age you may be, there is that age gap of 2 years. So it doesn't necessarily have to be 39 and 41. It could be that you are 26 and this person is 28. You could be 52 and this person could be 54, or the other way round. This doesn't have to be the case. Just take it as that little bit of extra confirmation if that does apply, a 2-year age gap. But overall, I am getting the sense that this is a very new connection. This is a very new energy. This is potentially someone you haven't even met yet. Or if you have met them, you've only just met, or you're only just starting to get to know them, or something like that. And the one thing I find interesting as well is we do have so many beautiful cards here that are, you know, sort of indicative of not just that physical connection, but also a long-lasting relationship. But then this card with risk is coming out, and I'm not sure whether that is to do more with a mindset thing, because with innocence coming through, I think both you and this person do have good intentions towards each other, but maybe you or this person or both of you have been hurt in the recent past, and you might not necessarily be like looking for anything, particularly with self-love coming through as well. There is a strong message of independence. So I think you particularly might have been in like a hyper independent energy as of recently. Maybe you've been becoming more self-reliant, particularly if you were in like a toxic or a codependent relationship at any point, and you had a hard time getting out of that. But many of you are in this energy of really putting yourself first and taking care of you. So you could be glowing up internally, externally, or both. A few of you have been working on your skincare routines, your fitness, your eating habits, switching up your style, going to therapy, practicing meditation. Some of you have even been having a lot more physical alone time with yourself too. So maybe you are touching yourself more and learning to explore and enjoy your own body. And maybe this was something that you felt you weren't allowed to explore in a previous relationship, particularly if you were ever with someone controlling and they, denied you access to your own pleasure or anything like that. But I think, although there's this hyper independence, you might miss relationships at times. You might crave that physical touch. You might crave intimacy, but maybe you've been kind of shutting that down. Maybe you've just been saying to yourself, I just need to have a bit more alone time with myself to kind of get that release. And then you've kind of put relationships or dating on the back burner a little bit. Maybe because you've been hurt before, you feel like being vulnerable with someone new could be a risk. So this could be the risk we're talking about. Maybe you're reluctant to put yourself in that position. I don't think you're totally against getting to know someone, but the right person hasn't come along. So you've been, just focusing on yourself, investing in yourself, maybe even exploring like new hobbies and just generally learning to love and to nurture yourself again. Some of you could be on dating sites, but you're not really active. Like for some of you, this could be more to alleviate boredom. Like you've got a profile, but you're not seeking out that communication, or maybe you ignore most of your messages that come through or something like that. But with Cupid's arrow, maybe there's just something about this person that really does catch your eye and you feel the need to respond to this person, and maybe you're struck by how quickly, that connection forms. Maybe you're surprised by how quickly you start to like them, or how easily the conversation flows. And I think they're definitely struck by Cupid's arrow when it comes to you. It's almost this sense of like, wow, where's this person been all my life? So maybe there is some mirroring with you and this person. You could have had similar relationship experiences, maybe similar childhoods, or just similar views, and you just click in a way that doesn't really happen often with most other people. So if this is a case of you talking to a person on a dating site, exchanging messages, and the prospect of an actual date in the real world comes up, it's like there's this sense of you were never really intending for this to happen. So maybe you're suddenly a little anxious at that prospect because on your side, it wasn't meant to go this far, but you couldn't help it. You were drawn to each other. Maybe in other circumstances with other people, if it got to the stage of planning something like a date, maybe in the past you would dip out or you would ghost that person or you would make an excuse, but you don't want to do that with this person. And it doesn't have to be a dating site either. It could be a connection you've made via the internet on a social media platform or in a particular community. So it could be simply risky in the sense of you being cautious about people you meet from the internet, especially if you've never done that before. Hi, beautiful. Hello, beautiful. You helping me with my reading. Gorgeous. Sorry, that was my dog. If you can hear any little paws pattering in the background, my dog has decided to come upstairs and join me. But yeah, talking about the internet thing, particularly if you're a woman, well, to be honest, if you're anyone really, we all have to take the necessary precautions to ensure our safety. Anyone does, regardless of gender. And people meet up after talking on dating sites often, and 9 out of 10 times it's fine. But unfortunately, we have to think about those rare worst case scenarios in order to act accordingly. So things like, ensuring you're meeting up with somebody in public. It could be that you're, thinking of the riskiness in that way, weighing the pros up against the cons or something like that. And if it's not that, it could be that something about the actual encounter itself feels risky in some way. And I don't want to call you out here, pal 3, but maybe some of you aren't going to be using protection when you really should be. Like if this is a new person and you don't know their sexual history, you or them should be wearing protection if that is an option for you. So maybe purchase some condoms or something like that now so you are not caught off guard when this happens. Like be careful, be safe. I know that message won't apply to everyone, but obviously with risky coming through, I do have to mention it. It could be that it feels like there's an element of risk in terms of like a slightly risque location, and maybe there's the thrill of getting caught or something like that throughout this encounter. And if this is not someone you're talking to or going to be talking to online, I think this is a person you meet unexpectedly, and like when they see you, they are struck by Cupid's arrow, they have to know you. They're like, wow, who is this pal 3 person? And they're going to be asking to be introduced. there's very much a spark from that first moment, and I think it's going to surprise both of you. Like maybe you've never experienced that strong of a physical pull before, and it takes you both off guard. And there's something about it that almost feels fated, because maybe when you meet, you originally weren't going to go to that event, or you were meant to go to one place and then you ended up in another place, and that's where you met this person. Totally not expecting any of this to happen. But with longevity coming through, this could refer to the encounter itself. It could be that there's some soreness or achiness afterwards, because this encounter, I think, is going to be long lasting. This person could have a lot of endurance, they could go for a long time. They could be very physically fit or into the gym, because that stamina translates to the bedroom in some way. It could also indicate that whilst like this pull between the two of you is based on this strong initial attraction, it could be that there's also a chance for this to grow and to morph into something more long lasting. I don't think you're going to expect to like this person as much as you do, and that might come as a surprise when you do figure out that you actually, like them and get on with them quite a lot. It could also be that this is like a slow burn, with you having picked the turtle sticker, that could indicate like a slow burn. There also could be a connection to the ocean. It could be something to do with like deep sea diving or snorkeling, or just a sense of enjoyment from you or this person being near bodies of water. And the songs that are actually popping into my head when I think of this pile, I've got two actually. So I'm getting Good Night and Go by Ariana Grande, and I'm also getting Tread Carefully by SZA, because it's almost this sense of like, you're trying to be careful, you're trying to go slow, but you can't help but feel this connection with this person, and it's vice versa as well. Like they feel the same way. And it's almost like this sense of frustration that you like them as much as you do, because, you're in this hyper independent energy. It kind of feels like I don't want a relationship to come around and sort of ruin this hyper independence, this energy that I'm in. But at the same time, it's like you can't really leave this person alone. It's almost like, oh, like, why do we have to get on so well? Or something like that. It's a strange feeling, but it's a very, very nice one. Like, you are both struck by each other, you are both feeling that pull towards one another, but maybe you are a little bit more frustrated by it, a little bit more hesitant. But we'll delve into that a little bit deeper when we get into the tarot reading. That is what I'm getting for the oracle portion of your reading, Pile 3. I really hope you are enjoying the reading so far. Please bear with me and we'll go ahead and look at the tarot cards we pulled for you. I'll see you in your tarot reading, Pile 3. Hi, Pile 3 Collective. Welcome back to the tarot portion of your reading. Without hesitation, let's get started and have a look at the cards we pulled for you. Okay, Pile 3, we have the Two of Swords. We have the Nine of Wands reversed. We have the Lovers. We have the Nine of Moons, which is Cups in this deck. We have the New Moon. This is a card exclusive to this deck as well, so that is exciting. We have the Knight of Swords. We have the Eight of Stars. Stars are pentacles in this deck. We have the Knight of Moons. We have the Queen of Wands. And we have the Nine of Stars. So, Pile 3, with the Two of Swords and the Nine of Wands reversed, I think there is definitely some stubbornness when it comes to you admitting your attraction to this person. And some of you might be sort of pushing down that desire to spend time with this person due to a perceived risk. I'm getting the vibe of, like, to some degree, right person, wrong time. Or that's what you're telling yourself, because as we said, I don't think you were necessarily going out looking for this. There's almost a slight sense of annoyance with it, like, why do I have to like this person? This isn't the right time to like someone. So some of you could actually initially be a little bit avoidant with this person because this attraction is so strong, and because you're convinced that you can't go into all of that right now. You're like, I have to focus on XYZ. So it's almost like you haven't wanted to engage too much with this person because there's a risk you'll catch feelings. Or maybe that's on this person's side because there's a sense of like you both might have been hurt in the past. So that could play a part in why you consider that this is like a little bit of a risk. So it could be at first you're a little defensive, maybe you have your guard up with this person and you kind of rebuke their advances. Maybe it's going to take you a while to actually meet them or to go with them on a date or something. Two of Swords can be about difficult choices, so there could be some element of you going back and forth, sort of should I, shouldn't I, particularly, if this is someone you met online and you don't know what to expect. There could also be something about you not having the full picture yet. Maybe you get this person a little bit wrong at first due to not having all the information. So because your guard is up, you might be going back and forth on whether to give them a chance. Because you could be thinking, this is just another person to come and hurt me or to come and get me off track. There's some kind of analysis paralysis going on here. And I think you could be a chronic overthinker, pal 3. And once you get something in your head, you can be a little bit rigid with it. Maybe sometimes struggling to listen to your heart because you've convinced yourself you have to do things one particular way and you are, kind of determined to stick to that way. So with this Lovers, I think that could indicate this initial battle between your head and your heart, and perhaps you being torn between your physical impulse to come towards this person or sticking to these rules that you have made for yourself, the principles that you have set for yourself. For example, you choosing to be single and to not get involved with anyone physically or emotionally, if that applies. It's like you're going to be learning how to integrate those two opposing energies so that they can work together, or you're going to have to let one thing go. So in terms of these energies working together, it could be that you are, giving this person a chance, but you're taking things very slowly because your rational mind is encouraging you to not rush. Despite these feelings that might be progressing quite quickly, you're not ruling anything out, but you're also not rushing. So this could also be about you and this person almost kind of balancing each other out. Maybe one of you is more emotional and one of you is more logical. Maybe one of you has like more fire and air energy and the other has more water and earth energy or something like that. And these opposing energies kind of balance each other out, and surprisingly, it actually creates a lot of similarities and a lot of room for this balanced communication. I think maybe you could be the more fiery one and this person could be a little bit more earthy and grounded, but of course it could be the other way around. But with this 9 of Cups coming through, this 9 of Moons, I think this person is just going to be incredibly happy that you're giving them a chance. They feel like it's a success. It's a victory just to be able to get to know you and get some alone time with you. And it could also be a sign that, this connection, it doesn't have to be just physical. It could indicate that this could lead to something more long-term, a bigger commitment, if that is something you want. Some of you might be scared of that a little bit, because again, you weren't expecting it, but we did get, longevity in your oracle reading, so it is very possible. So with the new moon, I'm going to read out the description from the guidebook for this deck. The new moon is a time when the moon is not illuminated in the night sky. This is a time to retreat within and do important shadow work. The lunar darkness is a perfect time to hibernate, meditate, and take time for yourself. Shadow work is a part of self-care and is crucial for healing past wounds and moving forward with a healthier relationship with yourself and your past. Embrace your shadow self, bring it into the light, and illuminate it. So with this pile 3, obviously we got that self-love card in the oracle reading, and I think a big part of your glow up involved you doing some of this shadow work, hibernating and, trying to heal those past wounds. So by the time you meet this person, when this encounter is about to take place, you will have already done a lot of that work. And there might be a small part of you that, doesn't feel quite ready. And that's where a little bit of the defensiveness or avoidance might come into play initially. Because maybe it's like you're saying, I finally got to this place where I'm healing and I don't want anyone to disrupt that. So dating someone, getting to know someone, it might not be the best idea for me right now. And only you, know what is best for you, pile 3. But this reading is about your next encounter, and looking at the rest of the cards, I'm going to assume like you do give this person a chance, at least in some capacity. Whether this is just a casual thing or you are looking for more of a commitment, if something happens here, something is very much happening. But if there is an element of you like overthinking and being unsure in terms of your decision making, or debating whether it's right person, wrong time, I think if this is truly the right person, I don't think it can be the wrong time. And that doesn't mean jumping into anything if you still need time to like reflect and process some of the past situations. But if this is the right person, it will be okay to like take things slowly. I'm sorry about the background noise, by the way. That noise is really pissing me off. I will try and reduce it, but I might not be able to. But I will try during editing. Oh, I think it's stopped now, actually. Yeah, okay, we'll see. But yeah, I think some of you just need to know that, because there is this common vocalization, I suppose, in certain psychological or spiritual communities, that all of us need to be like fully healed in order to enter a new relationship or to make connections with people. And whilst I do agree with the general sentiment of somebody taking plenty of time to heal and process their emotions after a breakup or after any traumatic event, to ensure that they're in the best place possible to accept a healthy relationship with another person, I think that assumption that anyone who isn't like 100% healed shouldn't be able to access love or friendship is just too much of a blanket statement. It can feel kind of exclusionary, like to those of us who will never be fully mentally well due to trauma or due to, lifelong mental health conditions. Healing can be a lifelong journey. So I think it's kind of unfair to suggest that being single forever, if you don't want to be, is the solution to that. It's my belief that healing can continue to take place when you are with the right person. And that's not saying that it's this person's responsibility to heal you or to fix you. That responsibility falls on you. But I think that being in a safe relationship where communication feels healthy, it can kind of like facilitate that growth, and it can facilitate that element of self-improvement. Because sometimes we think we've healed from a past wound, and then a conflict that arises within our next relationship might trigger us and take us back to that place of emotional wounding. But that in turn can give us the ability to reflect. And in relationships where communication is actually healthy, it allows us to talk things through with that person for the betterment of not only yourself, but for that relationship. So that might just be a message for those of you who sometimes feel like, I'm not ready, but you're feeling called to take a chance on someone. Obviously, you have to trust your own intuition on that, but that was just kind of a side note for those who need to hear it. But I'm aware that was kind of a long tangent, so let's move on. I think with this Knight of Swords, this person is very attracted to your assertiveness and the way that you kind of playfully challenge them at times. It could be that they think that you're like a bit of a hard nut to crack, like you have a slightly hard outer shell. And I think that does intrigue them. It makes them want to know more about you. But I think you are also attracted to this person's ability to accept that challenge. I'm almost getting the sense of you and this person not being afraid of debating each other. Your communication could involve healthy debates, but it doesn't escalate to these unnecessary conflicts. And this kind of impresses you about this person. It's like whatever you dish at them, they bat it right back at you. But they're able to give quite logical and balanced responses. They don't really get offended by the things you say. They're able to take jokes and have this kind of bantery relationship with you. And it's not necessarily that you're testing them, but there's almost this energy of you being like, a lot of people would have given up at this stage, but this person hasn't. So maybe they are worth my time or something like that. And I think this is a very patient person, and maybe sometimes you can be like a little bit more impatient than them, I would say. Because, with this Eight of Pentacles, I do think that you have high standards. Either you or this person could be a little bit of a perfectionist. And I think in terms of the physical encounter itself, I think you're going to be impressed by this person's skills. Like, this is the kind of person who has done their research when it comes to giving you a physically enjoyable experience. They've mastered something and they're kind of committed to getting the job done in the correct way, let's say. And I think this person is also very aware that good things take time. So if it's taking you a while to get there, this isn't the kind of person who is going to rush you or to pressure you or anything like that. They're not going to make you feel bad. You might have had past relationships where intimacy did feel rushed, or you felt like your needs weren't prioritized or something. But this person is dedicated to making sure you get there. They could even be like a little bit stubborn about that at times, but not in a way where they're putting pressure on you or anything like that. It could just be that in a past relationship, you could have been made to feel like if, you don't get there within 5 minutes, it's a lost cause. And that could kind of be something that you've carried with you, and it makes you kind of put pressure on yourself. So maybe you say to this person, you know, it's okay, you don't have to keep going. I know I'm taking a while to get there. It's like you've minimized your own needs. But this person is like, don't worry, I know what I'm doing. We're going to get there. And that allows you to not be in your head as much. You feel safe to take your time. And I think the ones who do get there, this person is going to absolutely love seeing how you react. They're going to enjoy being able to see that moment of bliss and of peace, and knowing that they're the one who helped you like reach that place. That feels like the reward in and of itself. And you know, with this Night of Moons, I don't think you know it yet, but I think you will know it. I think this person is just a classic romantic, and they will definitely want you to open up a little bit more. And I feel like once you do start, you know, getting to know each other, the safer you feel to be able to be more vulnerable with this person. I think they create a safe space for you to say what you need to say, and they're not going to like judge you for it. And I think they're a very peaceful person as well. I think they're quite diplomatic. There's something calming about them. It's like they calm you down a little bit, especially if you're the more fiery one. And maybe you're not used to this, like maybe previous relationships or situationships have felt very aggressive or conflict driven. But with this person, conversation feels so balanced. And I think, you know, that allows you to open up more physically too. And with this Queen of Wands, I think this person just likes it when you tell it how it is. So maybe some of their past heartbreak could be to do with people not being honest with them. So something about your honesty really appeals to them. Your directness might be something you've been made to feel bad about before, but this person adores it. So if you've ever given an ex-partner constructive criticism in the bedroom or anything like that, and if they've taken that the wrong way, and that's what's kind of made you minimize your own needs, I think this person is more or less the opposite of that. They don't get offended. They use it as a way to improve because they know how valuable you are, and they know that they're lucky to have any access to you. So they want to be able to prove that they're worth keeping around. And with you, it's like you see this person's potential, because if you didn't, you wouldn't even be entertaining them. So you know there is something worthwhile about this. So with the Nine of Pentacles, this person is definitely a strong character, as are you. They're likely to be somebody who has turned their hardship into success in some way. This person could have their own business that they built from the ground up and it's doing really well. Or they could be somebody who has received an inheritance, but to get to that financial reward, they had to experience loss, and they've gone on to do better things with that money. This person could own their own property or invest in properties. This doesn't have to apply, but it's just that extra little bit of confirmation if it does. But I think this encounter might make you realise that you have more in common with this person than what you originally thought, and that there is more to them than what meets the eye. So there's the opportunity to share more of an emotional connection here. I think from this person's calm demeanour, it will be easy to assume that they haven't had some of the difficult experiences that you've had, but the more you talk to them, the more it's clear that they've been through some stuff, and that allows the two of you to understand each other at a more intimate level. So I think there's this overall feeling that this person or this connection just doesn't come around every day, and there's this sense that it needs to be explored. So just chatting a little bit more generally about the physical encounter itself. With the Lovers, I think this is going to be very balanced. I do think there is going to be mutual give and take. However, going back to what we said in the Oracle, just please be mindful of any risks, because the Nine of Cups can sometimes indicate pregnancy. But if it's not a physical pregnancy, this could just mean that you view this encounter as fertile ground. Like this could become something of substance. It has the chance to grow and to blossom. But yeah, definitely the Nine of Cups is all about pleasure and sensuality. So this encounter could involve optimizing your sensory experience in some way. This could be something like using a blindfold to enhance the intensity of other senses. It could be experimenting with hot and cold temperatures in some way. It could even involve massage or using oils. Physical touch is very much being highlighted here, and this person does have a very earthy quality. They could have Venus or Mars in an earth sign. They're all about experiencing life's earthly pleasures. Libra as well, I'm getting, I'm getting earth signs, but I'm also potentially getting Libra. They could definitely be the type to like wine and dine you or take you to the spa or something like that. And generally, I think this is going to be a very fulfilling experience for everyone involved. That is what I'm getting for the tarot portion of your reading, pile 3. We are just going to finish this reading off by looking at a few more cards from this same deck. And these few cards are intended to represent your feelings and this person's feelings afterwards and what to expect from the afterwards of this encounter. So please bear with me and we'll have a look at the cards we pulled for you. Okay, pile 3, let's have a look at what we pulled for you. We got the 7 of Wands. We got the Wanderer. This is another card that's exclusive to this deck, by the way, so I'll read out the definition of that. And we got the Queen of Swords. So in regards to the Wanderer, let me read that out. This card represents the I am presence, the multidimensional part of our consciousness. It is your past, present, future self combining to make up the sum of you as a spiritual being in your physical body. It is your connection to source energy and the ability to manifest. This card is asking you to connect with your I am presence, to interact with others from a place of love, to be mindful and appreciate the moments you find yourself in. It's a reminder of the importance of being present in everyday life. So firstly, I think in terms of this Wanderer card, this experience will kind of show you that you are allowed to enjoy the moment. You are allowed to give in to pleasure, particularly if there was some guilt attached to physical experiences in the past. This shows you that it is okay to enjoy those encounters for what they are. I don't think you're going to be in your head or overthinking this connection. You feel safe to just be in the present and, not keep going over what will or won't happen. And I think a big part of this has to do with this person's ability to keep their word with the 7 of Wands. This isn't going to be the type of person who says they'll contact you and they don't. If they say that they're going to do something, they'll do it. That is the energy. And I think there's going to be a lot more communication with this Swords card coming through. Maybe messages exchanged, maybe lots of open dialogue, maybe even pictures or videos or something like that. But I think this person makes you feel safe to be open in your communication after the encounter. You're going to be feeling like you don't have to make yourself small to stroke this person's ego. They're strong enough that they don't require that at all. You can openly discuss what you like, what you don't like, and this person is going to be receptive to hearing all of that. So it's like however you and this person decide to proceed, there's plenty of room for good talks at the very least. And I think this really has the potential to become whatever you want it to be quite honest, pile 3. So that is what I'm getting for the tarot portion of your reading, pile 3. I really hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did enjoy it, please like the video, please comment, and if at all possible, please subscribe. That would mean the absolute world to me and I would appreciate it so much. Thank you, pile 3, and I'll see you in the next one. Hi Pile 4 Collective, welcome to your reading. If you chose Pile 4 and you chose the AEROPLANE sticker and the Trash Panda Tarot, this will be your reading. This reading is all about your next spicy encounter and feelings before, during and after. So we are going to explore who this person is, your relationship to them, and we are going to discuss the physical encounter itself as well as any feelings surrounding this experience as a whole. If you would like a more thorough reading breakdown, then please check out my introduction. I explain everything there so you know what to expect in this upcoming reading. However, as usual, we are going to be splitting the reading up into 2 main sections. The oracle reading you can use as an energy check. This will represent the overarching energy, and the tarot, which is the second portion of the reading, that will be a deeper dive. So we are about to get started. I just want to thank you all so much for taking the time out of your day to listen to my readings. I really hope you enjoy this one. If you haven't done so already, please could you consider liking my video, commenting or subscribing. That is the easiest and best way to support me in this channel, and I would just appreciate it so much. And anyone who has done any of that, again, I just really do appreciate it so much. I just can't tell you enough. I notice every single like, every single comment and every single subscriber, and it just all means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for being here. But without hesitation, let's get started and have a look at the cards we pulled for you. I'm just going to move this AEROPLANE sticker to one side for now. I'm also going to move your tarot cards to one side so we can focus on the oracle reading. Okay, pile 4, so let's have a look at what we pulled for you. Okay, we've got karmic relationship. We have got clarity, carrot, number 1. We have got separation, sadness, missing you, thinking about you, yearning, unsure of future. We've got Beaver and Birch, home. And we have got number 7, catching. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce this. I am really, really sorry. I know what it means, but I don't know how to pronounce it. But we will explore the meaning of that if you don't know what that is, so don't worry. Okay, pile 4. So just a little disclaimer for this pile. I do think you know who this is based on the cards that are here, but I just want to say right off the bat that whatever this situation is, and there might be a few different situations because obviously this is a collective reading, so I'm going to try to cover all possibilities, but this is definitely a heavier energy than some of the other piles. This is somebody who you have a history with, no doubt. I think this is somebody who you've been intimate with before. I think you know each other very well. There are strong emotions here between the two of you. It's most likely that you love each other or you did love each other at some point. So this is either someone you're in a relationship with, but there is some kind of separation, either physically or emotionally or both. This could be a long distance relationship with you picking the AEROPLANE sticker. Long distance could be significant to this connection, or travel of some kind. Or if it's not that, this could be somebody you have recently chosen to separate with after a long-term relationship or a marriage. You could be going through a divorce with this person, you could have lived with this person and they have recently left you, or you have recently left, something like that. Or if this was a recent relationship and you and this person have decided to go on a break, that could apply as well. Or even if this is an ex where both of you have tried to move on, but somehow you keep returning to each other. So I just wanted to start off by saying that because pile 4 is the final pile, and this is the first pile where I'm picking up on that kind of energy of like, yeah, this is definitely a past person, or, you know, this is definitely someone you've been intimate with before. So if you're not wanting to hear about that person, or if that just doesn't apply, I would encourage you to choose another pile. I can only apologise, you know, if that is something you don't want to hear about and it's coming through, but I do have to be honest about the message. I'm not going to make something up. But I totally understand if you need to dip out because, you know, it's not in your best interest to hear about this person. Obviously, circumstances are going to be different for each individual, so this doesn't have to be your story. Like, if you know you definitely wouldn't have a spicy encounter with this person, then this probably just isn't for you, and that's okay. And also, just because this reading is heavier, it doesn't mean that the outcome will be negative in every single circumstance. For some of you, it might be that this is a karmic relationship and that you know it's not good for you, and maybe you just want confirmation of that. There could be like very high highs and very low lows with this person. There could be repeated patterns that you've tried to break, cycles of breaking up, then getting back together, that kind of thing. For others of you, it could just be that this feels like a karmic relationship in the sense that it's felt like you're being tested, or that this connection is forcing you to kind of learn lessons, but it could be more to do with external challenges rather than like this person's behaviour, for example. You know, it could be that you view this person and situation as redeemable, but the two of you are encountering obstacles at each turn, something like that. So in those instances, you know, this obstacle, it could be distance, it could be a work or a financial situation, it could be a health or mental health issue, or it could even be that one or both of you is in the process of separating from a karmic partner in order to be together, but you're not able to be together until that situation is resolved. It feels like something keeps getting in the way of this connection and you're currently in a period of separation or just general distance. Some of you might not actually have officially separated with this person. Maybe they're still your person, but again, there's a distance, possibly emotional distance. You could very well be living with this person but not seeing eye to eye right now, not having intimacy or something like that. So what I want to do with this reading is I want to address all these various situations and try to offer some clarity because it's going to be different for everyone, so please use your own intuition when it comes to this. So I like to mention the numbers. So the number 1 or 7 could be significant here. This could be in terms of a date, a birthday. It could even be an age gap, like you and this person are 1 year or 7 years apart. Or if we put 1 and 7 together, it could even be that you met this person when you were 17 or something like that. But I think this is a connection that has maybe left you with a lot of confusion. There have been elements of you wanting it to work but not knowing how it will. it feels like certain barriers are just too large to overcome. But there is, this pull with this person because something about this person feels like home. Even in instances where you know that maybe this person isn't the best for you, you might return to each other because something feels very comforting, and particularly intimacy. If this is someone who knows you very well, it's like it's easy to just end up being physical with this person because it feels so familiar and so natural. It's like you know every inch of this person's body and they know every inch of yours, so you feel comfortable with them, you know how to be intimate with each other. It might even feel like a habit. It's just something that happens without either of you really thinking because it feels right, like the two of you fit into place. So this encounter could be an emotional release in some way. I think there is a lot of attachment here, especially if you and this person have known each other for a long time. There's this need of, I need to be with someone who understands me, or I need to go back home. I think this person feels safe with you. And I think this person is very much missing you, has been yearning for you, has been wanting to be close to you. So if this is someone that has left, I would be inclined to believe that they are very much regretting that. And I think they do spend a lot of time thinking about you. And in turn, if this is a long distance relationship and the two of you are eager to see each other again, I think this person is really pining for you and wanting to come towards you, but maybe there have been, these external blockages. If this is a person who lives with you, but there is that emotional distance, I think this person is craving an intimate conversation. They want to get back to a good place with you, but they don't know how to go about it. They don't know how to bridge that gap. So I'll read this definition, the definition of caching, if that's what you call it, because I think it does relate to this overall energy. I'll just read it for you. So it says, caching is the act of hiding food to retrieve and eat later in the season. It helps birds survive during bad weather and when food sources are low. So some of you could feel that this person is kind of stringing you along or keeping you around during the times that they don't have anyone else. It could be that there's a pattern of this person maybe thinking they can go off to find better, then returning to you when the going gets tough. Some of you could be feeling a little bit used, or like this person only comes to you as a last resort because they know that they can rely on you. So maybe you're assessing that situation and really kind of considering, is this a fair partnership? Is this an equal partnership? So maybe some of you, the clarity here is that this spicy encounter is a goodbye. It's kind of like one last shebang before you officially decide to go your separate ways. So maybe this clarity is, seeing that this person isn't bringing you the happiness that you deserve and you need to find that elsewhere. It's giving I'm getting post-nut clarity. It could be that some of you get post-nut clarity following this encounter. On the other hand, assuming that this person's intentions are good, but the relationship has faced some challenges, this encounter could solidify that you do want to make the effort to make things work, but maybe certain changes need to be made going forward. Again, it is going to be different for each person based on their individual circumstances, so I want to give different examples for all of these circumstances. But either way, I think this encounter is going to allow you to see clearly about something, maybe for the first time in a long time. Maybe at times you have had rose-tinted glasses on when it comes to this person, and now the glasses are off. Or alternatively, if you do want this to work, maybe you're seeing a solution that will allow this relationship to progress successfully. So that is what I'm getting for the oracle portion of your reading, pal 4. I hope you are enjoying the reading so far. We are about to get started with the tarot reading, so please bear with me and we'll see what we pulled for you. Hi Pal 4 Collective, welcome back to the tarot portion of your reading. Without hesitation, let's get started and have a look at the cards we pulled for you. Okay, Pal 4, we have got the 10 of Wands, we've got the 3 of Cups reversed, we've got the Page of Pentacles reversed, we've got the 4 of Cups, we've got the 2 of Pentacles, we've got the 7 of Pentacles reversed, we've got Temperance, we have got the King of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune, and we've got the World. So it's not all bad, Pal 4. I know we have a few reversals here and we will talk about those, but this is looking promising. More promising maybe than what I originally thought, so we will talk about that. So first of all, to address the Ten of Wands, either this actual relationship or the circumstances surrounding this relationship have been burdensome at times, and this could relate to many things, but to give just a few examples, this could be a case of you feeling like you're putting all your emotional labor into a situation to receive very little in return. So maybe like you shouldering all of the responsibility for the relationship and trying to keep it on an even keel, maybe even at the expense of your health or your well-being. This could be to do with feeling overburdened by external situations, things to do with money, work, with distance or health struggles, childcare, something that left either you or both people involved pushed to the end of their tether, feeling exhausted, feeling burnt out, and maybe, it led to a lack of communication and a lack of emotional connection. It could even be that this has to do with domestic labour and all of that falling on you, or if you had to become the breadwinner after a partner's period of ill health or a mental health issue or something like that. But for those of you where this is a completely external situation, there is this sense of, when will we finally be able to connect? When will there be some luck on our side? But if this person is maybe not acting in your best interest and they are deliberately allowing you to shoulder all of this responsibility, they're pushing you away or they're pushing you to the brink of collapse, this could be you kind of having a valuable realization about those circumstances leading up to this encounter. So with this Three of Cups in reverse and the Page of Pentacles in reverse, for those of you where this is a person who hasn't been treating you incredibly well, I'm getting it's like this person has fucked around and found out, basically. They might have been putting something external above you and perhaps not making you a priority. Maybe they felt like the grass was greener on the other side, or they thought that they would be better single and independent, but that has not been the case, and now they're feeling like they've missed their chance with you, with this Page of Pentacles reversed. It's honestly giving midlife crisis too, and I'm not saying this person has to be middle-aged, but it definitely feels like some kind of identity crisis, like this person wants to suddenly relive their youth or go off and sow their wild oats, and maybe it hasn't worked for them too well. They could be going out drinking to excess or just generally, not taking care of themselves. So there is this element of them running back to you with their tail between their legs, maybe wanting you to look after them or to get them grounded again. So that is one example, obviously depending on your situation. However, for those of you where it's less this person's behaviour that's the problem and it's more to do with an external circumstance, such as work or such as things being long distance, it still felt as though you weren't being prioritised, and that was making you feel confused and making you feel like you had to kind of reassess things in this relationship. Maybe it had been so long since you and this person had been physical and you wanted to make plans to see them, but it hadn't been possible, like things got in the way. So it's this sense of yearning and pining for each other, but there might also be some element of one or both people feeling underappreciated because you haven't managed to have that time together. And maybe there's this sense of well, if they wanted to, they would. For those of you where this is your person who is currently in the process of separating from another person, it could be that it's been established that this situation needs to be fully resolved before you and this person can be together in that way. So maybe it feels like your life is on pause or something like that. So it could involve, this person's partner refusing to move out or sign divorce papers or something like that. It could be that there is another person involved making things difficult and prolonging this situation. But there is definitely some emotional immaturity here, either with this person or with the partner that they are separating from, with the Page of Pentacles in reverse, if that applies. In those situations where it does apply, maybe this other person is prolonging this separation unnecessarily, due to their own ego, rather than them, genuinely wanting the relationship to work. They're behaving childishly because they don't want to see this person or you happy. It's reminding me of when a child sees another child with a toy. They have the opportunity to play with that toy, but instead they just destroy it for the sake of it. It's like destroying it because they can't have it. If this immaturity is coming from the actual person you're dealing with, like your ex or someone you're currently in a separation with, it's a similar energy But alongside that, there's this sense of this person coming to terms with the fact that they have been incredibly foolish and irresponsible. So this could have been the case of, this person not putting the effort in with you because something else caught their attention, or they thought the grass was greener on the other side, and they found out that's not the case. So they've been stupid and they're starting to realize it, basically. It could be that, some of them aren't really looking after themselves. Maybe they're drinking a lot or partying to excess, and this is showing itself physically. They thought in their head that they were reliving their youth, but they're just coming across as kind of desperate or a little bit try hard, and they're looking quite tired or quite worn out due to this behaviour. So now there's this element of them wanting to come back to you, like, Pal 4 will make this better. If you've had previous encounters with this person, it could have been that they were lazy, like maybe they prioritized their own pleasure above yours, and maybe there was some element of cognitive dissonance on their end, because, particularly if you became less open to being physical with them at a certain point because you weren't getting any enjoyment out of it, or, even if it wasn't to do with the physical intimacy itself, but it was like this person was lazy and that they didn't contribute to the house or to childcare, as an example. They left the brunt of that with you, so it made you too tired to engage with anything physical. It's like they were lacking in the self-awareness to question why that was happening, or in this instance wasn't happening. They didn't really question things. And I personally don't think there's any excuse for laziness in the bedroom or otherwise. We might have off days, we might have periods of illness, physical barriers. We can't be 100% every single day, but sheer laziness might have been a consistent pattern with this person. But instead, maybe they kind of blamed you, or they thought that they would find better elsewhere. And I imagine that they were put in their place fairly quickly, because not many people are going to want to put up with that behaviour. Like, if they were going out trying to meet people to sow these wild oats, be irresponsible, and they're taking things to excess, turning up looking haggard, and then also being lazy in the bedroom and expecting people to throw themselves at them, I think they probably got hit with a dose of reality. Because what would anyone get from that experience? Like, this person is honestly audacious. This person was in a whole other state of delusion when they thought that they could get better than you. If that applies, powerful. That might only apply for a select few of you, but I did just want to mention it. But yeah, with this Four of Cups reversed, this person hasn't been fully admitting the part that they had to play in terms of their dissatisfaction with the relationship, and with the dissatisfaction they are feeling without the relationship, if that applies. I think they're going to need to get honest about their deeper feelings. They're going to need to come clean with themselves, and I think they will, because they're fantasizing and thinking about you a lot, maybe daydreaming about how good they had it with you and wanting to go back to that. So this separation, if that applies, I think ultimately will teach them something, but there's going to be a little bit of foot dragging first when it comes to this. But with the Two of Pentacles, it could feel like you're kind of being juggled with this person a little bit. And that doesn't have to mean like you're being juggled with another person. It could relate to this sense of feeling like you're not being prioritized because this person is focused on work or on other commitments. This could also actually be about you choosing between two options. Maybe choosing between making things work with this person who you have separated on, or deciding to move on with someone else. If you are looking at restoring the relationship with a person you are separated from, this could be also about restoring that balance, hearing each other out, maybe this person becoming more adaptable or something like that. But for some of you, interestingly, with this particular pile, I'm getting that this could actually refer to two physical encounters with two different people. Hear me out, because that doesn't have to be the case for all of you. For some of you, this is two different encounters with the same person, and it might depend on whether you want to make it work with the original person, or you are deciding to move on to something new. Because the energy on this bottom row of cards is very different. So if I am completely honest, and I only ever want to be honest, I'm only going to say what's coming through. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm just not going to lie about something. I really do think that there might be one kind of unsatisfying encounter, but there also will be one very satisfying encounter. And that's why I say it could be different people, but it doesn't have to be. So like we mentioned earlier, this could be more of a goodbye physical thing with the person you're separated from, and that kind of solidifying that you definitely don't want to be with that person. But equally, it could be you maybe thinking, I will give this person one more chance. And them proving throughout this encounter that you made the right decision by creating distance with them, because they're still kind of showing up in a low effort way. Maybe they're leaving you physically unfinished, because Seven of Pentacles talks about unfinished work when it comes up in reverse like this. And it just proves to you that maybe they haven't really grown and they're not prepared to change, and maybe that offers the clarity you need for you to move on. However, in the instances where this is an otherwise healthy relationship, but there has been that distance due to an external influence, this could just be indicating that the physical encounter you have with this person initially doesn't feel as satisfying as what you imagined, particularly if this is long distance. You know, you're pining for each other, you can't wait to meet up. Maybe pictures and videos have been exchanged, you've been talking about the things that you're going to do to each other or something like that. It could be that this first encounter after that period of distance feels quite rushed and a little bit anticlimactic, and you're kind of left like, oh, is that it? Like maybe this person is just a little bit rusty, but please don't worry, because I don't think that's the end. This person does have more to offer, and they're going to come back and show you that, particularly with this world showing up, which I will go on to talk about. But first, pile four, temperance. Because the imagery on this card, it's making me think that your cup is going to be filled. You're not going to be thirsty. Somebody is going to give you the nourishment you need. It could be this person. It could be someone different, depending on your situation. But something is going to be coming into balance here. There's going to be give and take. The second encounter, it won't be anywhere near as rushed. It's going to be approached more patiently. This person is going to take their time with you, and it's going to bring you this sense of calm and peace, this sense of you thinking like, I can actually relax now, you know, I'm no longer pent up or frustrated, and you are going to be in this state of bliss. So if these encounters are with the same person, maybe there's a bit of worry surrounding this dissatisfaction with the first encounter, because you're like, you know, I've been pining for this person for so long, I've been wanting this, and it was kind of lackluster. And you might be concerned that that's all this person has in store for you, but they really have a lot more in store for you with this temperance. And maybe it leaves you with this feeling of, that's more like it after this second encounter. And again, that leads to this sense of clarity, because maybe you were put off by the lack of effort initially, but this person will be coming back for a second round and they will be showing that effort. Maybe for some of you, it's like, if this is long distance, this first encounter could be like, you know, this person has built this up so much in their head that they feel a little bit of stage fright when the time to be together actually arrives. Or it could be that something happens prematurely. Take that in whatever way it resonates. But it leaves you feeling a little bit frustrated, because you're kind of like, you know, well, they could have allowed me to finish, but maybe this person just needed a bit of time to recharge, and round two is going to be much more satisfying once they're able to do that. However, on the other hand, if this first encounter is with a low effort ex or someone you're separated from, and the second encounter is with a new person, it's like this new person is showing you how you're supposed to feel after intimacy. And that brings with it a lot of peace and a lot of clarity, because now you're certain in your decision to pursue something new. It's like either way, whatever way this goes down, you get clarity from both of these situations. And with this King of Swords, either way, somebody, whoever this may be, is going to be stepping into their King of Swords energy. The energy that wasn't there throughout the first encounter is definitely going to be there during the second one. So somebody here is serious about pleasing you. And if it's the same person, maybe they knew that the first round was a bit of a flop, and they're committed to making it a perfect experience for you this time. Maybe they're trying to come in and prove to you that they've changed. Maybe they're more disciplined, and they're also more willing to take charge in the situation. Like maybe you're seeing a whole new side of them, and the spark is kind of reignited due to this person's change in their approach. It could also be that you feel more comfortable with them emotionally, because they are making it clear that you are a priority, and they're showing up with a lot more integrity. But if this second round is with the new person, you know that they're not somebody that needs to be taught what they're doing. They know you have high standards, and they match that energy. And they approach this encounter from a place of morality, because it's not all about what they can get, it's about this mutual give and take. So with the Wheel of Fortune showing up, you know, for many of you, I think this whole thing is going to be very unexpected. Like you thought you were going in one direction and suddenly it changed. So for example, if you were thinking of giving a person a second chance and then you have this encounter, it could be this encounter solidifying to you that actually you want something different and, then going on to have an experience with somebody else. Or it could be you, deciding that you want the relationship with your ex or whoever this is to work, but you're not believing that it will, because this person has been behaving poorly. You've not seen a change in behavior. But the Wheel of Fortune, it indicates luck. So it's like your luck might be changing in this regard. Something you thought was coming to an end or something you were disconnected from is turning around for the better. Like the wheel is spinning in your favour. It could be that if this is an ex who sort of left you in the lurch, abandoned you in some way, and you thought you would never get over that, it could be that the wheel is turning and that now this person is desperate for you back and you're having these encounters with someone else that is showing you that you deserve so much better. So now it's your turn to leave them in the dust, and it's with good reason. Again, that's going to be different for each person, which is why I like to offer multiple examples. But these encounters are going to make you take decisive action in one way or another. So let's talk a little bit about this World card, because that is quite exciting. And I know that we've had quite a bit of heavy energy in this reading, but when we get the World card showing up like this, there is really no negative interpretation. So this encounter, this second encounter, let's say, it's going to bring you a sense of completion. So in the simplest format, that could be, you will feel physically fulfilled. We could also interpret it like you feel a sense of belonging with this other person, a sense of connection, either a rekindling, or if this is with someone new, it's like, oh yes, this is what a fulfilling relationship is supposed to feel like. I do also think that, this is saying that you have options. With this raccoon choosing between the ice cream and the banana, on this particular imagery, it's like the world is your oyster. Maybe it's you having thought at one point that you will be stuck in one place forever, and you're realizing, due to these encounters, that doesn't have to be the case. This could be you having felt like you were stuck in this bad relationship and then ultimately realizing that there are way more options for you out there. But if it's not a bad relationship, if it's a pretty good relationship, but you're just going through a rough patch, it could be feeling like this would never get better, but then this encounter makes you realize that things can get better, like things can be good again. It's also you, I think, feeling confident in your sexuality and giving yourself permission to do whatever you want and not feeling guilty about that, not asking for anyone's approval. I think it's also you knowing your worth enough to set high standards and expecting your needs to be met, because you know that any encounter isn't just about one person getting what they want. Everyone's pleasure should be considered. And if you ever felt like you were asking too much for wanting that, this is you knowing that those wants are valid and you're not feeling ashamed when you ask for those needs to be met. So that is what I'm getting for you for the tarot portion of your reading, pile 4. We are just going to close this reading by looking at a few more tarot cards, and these tarot cards are going to represent the feelings afterwards. How will you be feeling about this encounter? How will this person be feeling? And what energy will you be in generally? So please bear with me and we'll have a look at the cards we pulled for you. Okay, pile 4, let's have a look at the cards we pulled for you. So we have got the Moon, we've got the Devil, and we have got the Six of Cups reversed. Okay, so some of you following this encounter, particularly if this is an ex, and particularly for those of you where this encounter or the intention behind it is kind of one last rodeo, it could leave you with a little bit of confusion initially, especially, if this happens kind of unexpectedly. I think you and this person do have a complex relationship. Sometimes you might have felt powerless to it, or like you depend on each other too much. It's a sort of can't live with them but can't live without them feeling. And maybe this initial encounter leaves you really questioning what it is you want. There are feelings of uncertainty because maybe you're like, we can't keep doing this, but equally you can't manage to see a life without them because there's something familiar there. There is comfort. You have sentimental memories with them, because that's what the Six of Cups can refer to. But with it being in reverse, this could be about you moving on to new pastures, establishing your independence. This could be you getting clarity to say, I am officially done with this, I'm moving on. And maybe the second encounter, if it's with a different person, will kind of help with that moving on process. However, if this is about making things work with someone you're currently at a distance with, This Six of Cups reverse could be moving forward in terms of you and them decisively making change for the betterment of your relationship. Maybe the first encounter is a little confusing, you know, if you're not emotionally connecting, if things are hidden, maybe this requires more open conversations, particularly if you feel like you're having to pretend that the encounter was good when it wasn't. That might only apply for a few of you, but it could be like you feel like you're having to hide that you weren't truly satisfied or something like that. So this could be encouraging you to have an open conversation with this person and being open to expressing your needs. And you know, this person coming back with round two to sweep you off your feet and give you a better experience. And that could be something that allows progress to be made in that, you know, the spark is reignited, the desire is coming back. It could feel like the two of you are obsessed with each other once again, like you're back in the dating stage, you're texting all the time, wanting to be together all the time. Maybe the second encounter just makes it clear that the spark hasn't been lost and that you do want to work on things. That is what I'm getting for you, powerful. I really hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did like the reading, please like the video, please comment, and if at all possible, please subscribe. All of that would mean the absolute world to me, and I would appreciate it so much. Thank you for being here, powerful, and I'll see you in the next one.